A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to Global Online. Here we are back with our session on NTA UGC-NET JRF, including December 2023 cycle, wherein we have started our session on preparation for paper 1 on the topic higher education system. And in this, we have already completed the topic, various topics, including New Education Policy 2020. That is 2 parts of New Education Policy 2020. And today we are going to see the next part. That is, we are going to start with the next part. And that is called as Evolution of Higher Education System or Higher Learning in Post-Independence Period. So we are basically going to focus on post-independence period. So before we start with the session, let's understand what does Global Online has to offer you for your paper 1. So Global Online has brought a crash course for paper 1, which consists of this is what you have. That is, you can download Global Online app with the help of the Google Play Store. This is how the interface looks like. This is the paper that is you have to select, that is UGC Complete Course Paper 1, where you have a 20% off and the course price is 3,600. Once you get into the paper, you will be having this interface wherein you have, the live lectures schedule, wherein you have the folders which are divided as per, the syllabus, which are divided as per the units. And inside the folder, you have various content in the form of evaluation test, notes, mock test, as well as theory lectures, including video lectures. Now, yes, let's start the session for the day, wherein we are going to see evolution of higher education and research in post-independence period. We have already studied in detail the ancient education system of we have already studied the higher education in ancient India. So this is now we are basically going to focus on what we are going to focus on the education with respect to post-independence period. So let's see what exactly we have here. So yes, this evidence, when we talk about, we have already studied, Gurukul system, which was very prevalent or the first institution in ancient India. With an evidence of various universities, including Nalanda and Buddhist monasteries. So in order to ensure that this invasions and disorder in the country has led to what has extinguished ancient education system. So based on these particular foundation, the first college was set up in 1918 in Bengal, imparting Western education in India. In 1987, this is very, very important topic because on this you can see a lot of questions. 3 universities were set up, that is the University of Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Here always normally they give you Delhi as an option, but Delhi is not a right option because the universities which were set up that were only in Kolkata, Bombay and Madras. 27 colleges were affiliated, 19 universities were there in India. And the higher education system had seen a remarkable way after post-independence period and has become the largest education in system in India. This is how, basically we have a little bit of introduction about evolution of higher education in post-independence period. Now here, what you have to make sure that what exactly was the objective. So in India, basically, higher education system was developed in order to ensure that there is a proper promotion of education. The linkage between learning, research, and innovation was seen in a best possible way. So not only the linkage between learning, research, and innovation was seen, but also, financial flexibility, different types of universities, different types of institutions were basically the main concern with respect to higher education in India. Apart from that, various universities, including, the universities of national importance, institutions of national importance, deemed universities and open universities were formed and was given a due importance, which was again seen as what a change in your post-independence period. The central universities, that is the UGC as well as the AICT, provides various supports to state-run Universities in India functionally were formed in the form of multi-faculty universities, single faculty universities, which were including agriculture, technology, and medical universities. Apart from the universities, there were also institutions like including the institutions of national importance, IITs, IIMs, and higher education is in India, which was seen to govern, multiple agencies with UGC as one of the apex body. So this was the amount of development which happened with respect to what? With respect to post-independence, which happened with respect to post-independence period in India. Now, let's understand apart from this, okay, there were various commissions, various charters which were formed, various committees which were formed, and definitely based on these committees, based on these commissions, you have one or two questions. So I have just systematically made sure that, these uh, notes are systematically presented in such a way that it will be helpful for you to revise only the important points, and will help you to keep all the important points in mind without stressing a lot of things to cover. So yes, so we'll start with the first, that is the Charter Act 1813-1817. Basically, this was to spread the scientific knowledge. And in this, we can see the establishment of Hindu College in Calcutta, which became Presidency College, and finally the Presidency University in 2010. So yes, they give a question that what is Hindu College known as today, or what is Hindu College was, which was renamed, which was called as Presidency College, and then the Presidency University. Then we had a report by Elphiston report in 1823, which recommended the appointment of district examination officer, school supervisor, and training to teachers. Elphiston Institution, which is one of the oldest institution of Mumbai University and was set up in Bombay, that is 1834. Then moving towards Macaulay's minutes. So Macaulay's minutes had spread, has suggested the spread of education in India. So there was spread of education. It also directly, it directed mainly the elementary and secondary education, and removed the age-related biasness for education. So there was no biasness with respect to age factor, which was recommended by Macaulay's minutes. Then we had later on moved to Wood Dispatch Committee, wherein the first policy regarding higher education in India was brought up by this committee, considered to be the Magna Carta of English education in India. Yes, now when we say now based on this, okay, now every question will not have a code question. There will be statement questions also. So you should be aware how to remember these points in mind very well. Based on that, you should have your learning properly. So what are important points? Now see here. Now when I say Magna Carta, what exactly does it implements, or what exactly does it tells? It talks about, the royal character, or it basically talks about the liberties. So which was being seen by Wood Dispatch Committee, and it recommended the setting of 3 universities, which I already told you, that is the University of Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay. Regional and classical languages were taught in school. Vocational education and teachers training was also seen with the help of what? With the help of Wood Dispatch Committee. Now, talking about Hunter Commission, which we saw in 1882 and 1883, which emphasized aggregation of primary and higher education. It proposed that universities would have to manage the affiliated college and education here, or it was Hunter Commission was known as Indian Education Commission, which please remember, these are the important points which should focus on. That's the reason I've said only I have made very crisp notes. So you should be able to remember these notes properly. Then came University Commission, which was appointed was appointed for the first time by Lord Curzon under the chairmanship of Sir Thomas. Now here, what you have to keep in mind, Indian University Committee was appointed to inquire the condition and prospects of universities which were established in India. And this year, University Act 1904 was, seen. In Universities Act 1904 was under what? Was seen under University Commission 1902. Later on, we had Sadler Commission. So Sadler Commission, which was popularly known as Calcutta University Commission. Here we had, now see, this is a very important point. You should always keep one highlight. Okay. See, here I'll once again come back to the points which we have done. As I said, this things are something in the form of, the factual information. And this factual information, obviously, you have to remember these factual information. Now, it is your talent of remembering this factual information without rote learning. So, 2 or 3 times reading, highlighting the important topics, remembering those topics with reference to committees or the commissions is very, very important. Coming is next, yes, I'm talking about Sadler Commission. So women's education, intermediate education from degree college, that is for 3 years, was a part of this commission. Honors for 4 years and regular courses for 3 years. Okay, so honors indicated, the difference between honors and regular courses only indicated 1 year extra. But now if you see, now if you compare it with the new education policy 2020, where we have the bachelor's degree of 4 years, but this third year, that is 3+1, no, this last year is only focusing on research. So along with the research, along with the bachelor's degree, you get a research certificate, and your master's can be completed in 1 year. So they may also ask you, what is the difference between the old education structure and existing education structure, right? Here, yes, we have a special committee for university teachers. And Sadler's Commission suggested of setting up CAB, that is Central Advisory Board, which was set up in 1920 but was abolished in 1923 due to financial crisis. So your financial crisis, impacted it. Then came Varda Scheme of Education. Now, when we talk about Varda Scheme of Education, which is called as Nai Talim or Basic Education or Bunyadi Talim. Now, this particular scheme, okay, the philosophy provides fulfillment of men's need at all the levels. So whether it is biological, sociological, or physiological, whether it is biological, sociological, or psychological needs, it believes that education brings a complete development, or you can also say that holistic development. So when they're talking about holistic development, you have to connect it to Varda system. Okay. And yes, he is also emphasized on free and compulsory university education at the age group of 7 to 14 that should be imparted in one's mother tongue. But now even mother tongue, we have studied under National Education Policy 2020. You have 3 languages which the state has a liberty to select. So please be careful. Whatever you have learned now, as you're going ahead, whatever you have learned, you should know how to connect the dots. Any type of question, okay, immediately it should reflect in your mind. Any type of question, you should have you should be able to connect it very well, right? Then we had Surgeon Report, that is 1944, also called as Scheme of Post-War Educational Development in India. And this report suggested, recommended setting up of UGC. Coming up is Radhakrishnan Commission, that is 1948-1949, which is also called as University Education Commission. Yes, in integration of secondary education and higher education was set up by UGC. Women's education, mother tongue, and rural universities were definitely a part of Radhakrishnan Commission. Next coming up is Mudaliar Commission. So Mudaliar Commission talks about Secondary Education Commission, recommended introducing 3 years secondary plus 4 years higher education system with, setting up multi-purpose schools and vocational training institutes. So yes, Mudaliar Commission really played again an important role when it comes to education. Okay. Moving ahead was the Commission on Emotional Integration. So now when we talk about emotional integration, it was seen under the chairmanship of Dr. Sampurna Anand, which recommended the reorganization of curriculum, co-curricular activities, minority language, and educational tours. Okay. Coming next is important. Yes, Kothari Commission. On Kothari Commission, you see a lot of questions, right? Now let's see. Okay. Kothari Commission, which was titled as Educational and National Development Report. the report proposed 3-year degree and 4 years honors, which is common. Okay, but you should keep in mind which of them, propose this, right? Then we had next is recommended 6% of national income should be spent on education. Okay, even, in new education policy also we saw the 1.7% got increased to 6% of GDP, right? Quality improvement, yes, Kothari Commission was the one which led emphasizes on quality improvement and establishment of new education system to vocationalize secondary education, right? Coming next was education as a part of concurrent list, which is nothing but a combination or a responsibility of central plus state. Okay, concurrent list, which comes or which speaks about, education as a part of central plus state responsibility. So in 1956, through the entry, the responsibility along with the state for all the education level was given. Coming up is National Education Policy 1968. Now, 1968 says that the Kothari Commission was followed. Okay, after the education policy of 68 and 86, which suggested, yes, again, the 6% of national income to be spread on education and imparted distance learning mode. So it basically took into consideration what? The distance learning mode. Coming next is Sam Pitroda Committee, which was in the year 2007. So it says that National Knowledge Commission, that is nothing but think tank. It's also called as what? Think tank. Recommended structuring of curriculum, restructuring of curricula or curriculum. And yes, the reason was because we need to have a competitive level for the entry of foreign universities and increasing the number of universities to 1,500 by 2015. So this something, got into connection with what? Got into connection with the help of what? Sam Pitroda Committee. Coming to Yashpal Committee, yes, it suggested scrapping all the higher education regulatory bodies under one. Okay, and create a regulatory commission for higher education and research. Right now we have, only Higher Education Commission of India as per the new education policy, which has only the 4 verticals. And these 4 verticals are strictly maintained for accreditation, academics, funding, and, the administration part. So that also we have covered. Dr. Anil Kakodkar's committee, which recommended strategies to improve technical education, and 2% of the budget in every institution should be basically focused for research. Okay. Now, yes, coming next to is National Educational Council of India, where we saw the setup of the nationalist leader, that is Swadeshi leader. The only objective of this committee was ensuring that teachings, traditions, culture, morals are as per the modern system, that is modern language. Here we saw the establishment of National University in Bengal. Resolution on the education policy. So resolution is nothing but, basically talking about what decision. So it recommended a university for each province, which is not given, which will definitely not include any part of the question. Hartog Committee, yes, it improves the standard of university education, and it again suggested the establishment of CABE, that is the Central Advisory Board of Education. Coming to Abott and Wood report, this particular report you should keep in mind because this was the first report which studied the problematic areas in education. Okay, and it recommended establishment of polytechnics, agriculture schools, and increasing employment. So this taken into consideration what it took into consideration the recommendation of polytechnics, agriculture schools, as well as increasing employment. Then we have next is Sapru Committee, which spoke. Now, this was again the first committee which came up with the concept of unemployment due to, faulty education and providing only degrees. It means no realistic education was pointed by them. And it also recommended vocational education, diversified course. Basically, it tried to, provide the education as per the industry needs or interface. Then coming to Srimali Committee, which spoke about Committee on Higher Education for rural areas as well as rural institutions. Srimati Durgabai Deshmukh Committee, which spoke about, National Committee on with respect to what? With respect to women's education. Sayadan Committee, which took, which is known as UGC, basically review on what? Review on education, which spoke about what? Review on education. Coming next is the role of higher education, the role of Department of Higher Education. So now when we talk about higher education, exactly let us see with respect to post-independence period, what was the role? So it was to improve the gross enrollment ratio. It was to ensure that, promoting the participation so that the gross enrollment ratio, is supported, improving the quality of academics, ensuring that there is an expansion in all the forms, not only physical expansions of the institutions, but also quality-wise expansion. Then it spoke about use of technology in education. It spoke about development of vocational education and skill development. Sorry. Yes, so just a second. Okay. Yes. It spoke about, the improvement, development of vocational education and development of what? Development of the knowledges. That is with respect to what? Various Indian languages. So Indian languages, again, I am repeating, Indian languages with respect to new education policy 2020 also, you should be aware of. Now we have UGC and higher education regulatory framework. Actually, this is the topic which we will be seeing detail. I will just introduce this topic to you now. Regulatory structure framework we will be seeing in the coming class. So let's at least have an introductory understanding about this. So when we talk about, independence, post-independence period, under the chairmanship of Dr. Radhakrishnan, basically what was decided, to report the improvement of Indian universities, suggestion of the universities, and definitely with respect to what? With respect to present and future needs. It means sustainable education was one of the agenda. It recommended the university will operate, under the model of UGC. And yes, it will be, it will be by the appointed members of under the educationist. Now, this plays a really important role. So in 1952, the Union government decided that all the cases, now this was again a statement question, so you should know in true or false also it was, and under reason and assertion also it was. So all the allocations were decided, to be under one body, that is UGC. UGC was formally inaugurated in the year 1953. And this, was formally established. That is UGC established under a statutory body, which was under 1956. So this particular slide, definitely statement questions are there. But as I said, from next lecture, I'll be starting with UGC itself. That is UGC as a part of what? A higher education regulatory framework. So we will be repeating this and we will be seeing the regulatory structure in detail in the coming session, right? So yes, that's all we have for a day. All the students, those who are practicing and definitely attempting for paper 1, we do have notes in the form of paper 2. These are the subjects for which we have notes. The fees cost is rupees 1600. You have a 20% off on it. And you can, in case if you are availing the notes, you can get in touch with us on the team. So yes, that's all for the day. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day ahead. And let's see. In the next lecture, we will be starting with the topic that is regulatory framework.